We Are Change Birmingham, would that be out of England? Was in, of course, where they're landing 2 hours away because the airport is closed there in the off-season at St-Moritz. They're flying into what Swiss city did this happen in? And again, We Are Change directly from where? Videotaped what?
It was the local airport in St-Moritz because the problem with it is the cloud cover is so low that they were having difficulty getting permission to land the flights in the morning. So throughout the whole morning and most of the afternoon, we had basically not much more than a handful of Bilderberg attendees actually arrive.
So that's why the story's changing. You had been told the airport was closed. You went there, nothing was happening. Now you learn it was the cloud cover. That's why a lot of them were diverted to the Zurich, 2 hours away. Okay, continue. So We Are Change was staking out the airport. They didn't buy that it was closed, and they caught a red carpet taking one of these globalists off in a stretcher?
I don't know about a stretcher, but they said it was a medical emergency, that somebody was ill, and so they had an ambulance pull up with tinted windows, rolled out a red carpet, and I mean, he says he's got it on film, and he's going to give us the film, so, and then this individual was taken away, and then for the next few hours, there was barely a trickle of Bilderberg attendees arriving. We took photographs, which we're not 100% sure because they're blurred and we need to blow them up and analyze them on the computer, but one of the very first attendees that arrived, both myself and Aaron, as soon as we saw him, immediately thought it looked like Richard Pearl because he had kind of Nosferatu face with a balding head. And Aaron was stood at the opposite end of the press area because the police had helpfully drawn a line, a free speech zone in which we could stand. And as soon as I went up to Aaron, he said his first instinct was that it was Richard Pearl also.
Sure, just like in 2006, I knew it was Wolfowitz, and we later confirmed it. The human eye is still a lot better than a camera, as they built that several hundred-yard-long tunnel for them to go in with walls on both sides so they can speed up. You're there firing photos off as fast as you can. Also, we're told that Bill Gates and the head of NATO have also been photographed.
Yeah, the second attendee that we were able to get a photograph of, which Aaron did, the photo is quite blurred, but to me it looks like Bill Gates. I may be incorrect, we've got to analyse it, but that was my initial instinct. And then we got quite a good photograph of a third attendee arriving, and we asked the We Are Change Switzerland and the assorted independent journalists who they thought it was, and they said it was the NATO Secretary General, who is Rasmussen, is that correct?
Yeah, and of course they're running the big bombardment right now in Libya, now secret airstrikes, New York Times reports, in Yemen. I mean, that's a fifth war now. Paul, specifically, obviously you guys, after you're done getting Tucker on, need to get back out to that airport. A lot of times they do come in later in the evening. It's not dark there yet, and the mother load is about to get there. They have to drive 2.5 hours from Zurich, as you guys did when you got in on Wednesday. But expanding, I know Aaron was the guy that actually talked to the police. We'll come back to him after the break. But dealing with the bomb scare, what's your take on that? What did you see?
Well, Aaron's the best to explain that because we were at the bottom of the hill. Our car was parked at the top of the hill right out at the hotel. Literally about 50 yards from the hotel in the parking area, and we had physically moved our equipment down the hill because the Bilderberg cars were arriving and they had a sharp left turn, so all the cars had to slow down to a crawling speed, which enabled us to get better photographs and have more chance of capturing their faces. So we were at the bottom of the hill, the car was left at the top of the hill. When Aaron went back up the hill to retrieve the car, that was when this whole bomb threat thing began. And I'll put you on to Aaron so he can explain it in detail.
Absolutely. In fact, we're showing video right now for prisonplanet.tv viewers. We're going to get this added to the Drudge Link bomb scare report. where as the Bilderberg groups, you guys found a weak spot where they had to turn around slowly and we're getting video. Suddenly, they then announced the bomb scare. We're going to go to break here and come back with Aaron Dykes on this breaking news. So as soon as that happened, then they shut down the whole main road to push our people back even further so that we couldn't get video of the globalists arriving. Again, why do they want to hide this? Well, Hillary Clinton had to pay a $300,000+ fine in the mid-'90s for going to Bilderberg and getting caught. That's why now when she goes, they keep it totally secret. And she's in Europe right now, by the way, and no one, quote, knows where she is with her special helper, Mrs. Wiener. You can't make this stuff up. We'll be right back.
The interest is up and the stock market's down, and you're only getting mugged if you go downtown.
The Bilderbergs are hiding out in the woods, you see.
I live back in the woods, you see. A woman and the kids and the
yeah, they're hiding up there in some of the most beautiful territory I've ever seen. Looking at these photos at Infowars.com and PrisonBlatter.com are breathtaking. Okay, we've got Aaron Dykes and Paul Watson with us. Aaron, tell us about the bomb scare. Then we're getting Tucker on. And we're also going to try to get Mark Anderson on tomorrow from American Free Press, who's there as well, and very articulate and informed. You guys in the last 30 minutes today will report back from the steps of the lockdown hotel with the paramilitary police out there. Aaron, describe what happened when you guys found a spot where their cars had to slow down and you were getting Bill Gates and the head of NATO and others. Something happened. Tell us what happened.
Well, the protesters and us had been standing out there all day, and the police have been gradually pushing us back. They built an additional veil, further restricting the view of the hotel and the arriving attendees. Then after a few hours today, the police suddenly cordoned off the road itself, blocking off a public parking lot where our car was parked and other people we spoke with. I spoke directly to the chief of police, or the main police officer running that, and he said, tough luck, you can't get your car. He said there's been a bomb scare. Then we found that 2 people have allegedly or reportedly been arrested. Whether or not they were connected with this so-called scare, we don't know. But that was the implication. There was even a claim that they found something.
They did that in 2008 in Virginia. They had the guy that obviously worked for them. They later released him claiming he had a gun. And remember, that guy was there only videotaping us?
That's right. So Bilderberg are quite ready to pull a false flag to beat back the protesters and clamp down the public eye, because they know people are watching what they're doing, and they want to restrict that as much as possible.
And to be clear, the police told you there had been a bomb threat.
They did say there had been a bomb threat. They said no one could get through, neither cars nor persons. And I was first told it would only be 15 or 20 minutes. Then that extended to 1 to 2 hours. All things told, it ended up being an hour and 15 minutes or so until they opened back up the roads to the bomb scare. Then, of course, police were roping off the area, closing off other entrances. And while a lot of the members came through the main road where everyone were, they were also using a blocked-off one-way entrance for kind of a back door into the hotel as well. So we're doing what we can to cover all angles.
Well, incredible job, Aaron. How many media people and protesters are there, ballpark?
A few dozen, maybe 30 or so. I did see at least one media person. Hopefully others will be showing up. We'll find out.
All right, great job, Aaron. And I know that I'm going to let you travel down into the smoking lounge where Jim Tucker, of 35 years covering Bilderberg in the wilderness, is down there. And I know Jim, at least in the videos I've seen, appears to be a little under the weather. But we'll try to get as much information as we can out of him. And if you then also see Mr. Anderson there, Mark Anderson, also with the same paper, then perhaps we'll talk to Tucker for 5-10 minutes and then hand it off to him. If not, get back in the car, get back over to Bilderberg, maybe drop by the airport first. The scum's probably landing, more of them right now. Of course, they had their minions running around telling us, oh, the airport's closed, nobody's there. That was a bait and switch. It's so routine. Get over there, get the video of that, because they're desperate that we not see them going to this event. Because they are in there colluding and running agendas. And briefly, Aaron, you've done research on that. I mean, even the BBC admits they are setting a lot of big agendas there.
Yes, they certainly are, Alex. Alex. I mean, it's the military-industrial complex combined with the worst bankers you can imagine. Lots of the heads of the banks that we've bailed out, as we later found out that the Federal Reserve gave money to foreign banks in Europe. I forget the list, but it's on record. Those are largely the Bilderberg members. So they've created this crisis. They've set themselves up to gain from it, rather. And we're seeing that unfold now, Alex.
Well, these are the people on record, and we told people this 2006, 7, and 8, that would implode the world markets through derivatives, bring in austerity. Everything we said has happened because we have the sources via Tucker. Estelin has had some sources. We have some other sources we don't talk about. But also what we see Bilderberg attendees openly pushing at Davos, the Trilateral Commission reports they put out. We know this is the top of the pyramid. Royalty, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, you name it. We'll let you get down to the lounge and get Tucker on the phone. And Anderson after that if you can. Great job, Aaron Dykes, back with us in 2 hours.